Hello, Kayla.
Hello, Kenzie. That
How
was
are
my
you?
voice. I'm good.
We are best friends, everyone.
Yes, hello,
We don't
hello.
actually talk to each other like that.
No, I sing everything I do because I'm an awkward human being, but I'm doing great. I just cut all my hair off, so I am feeling like a bad bitch. Like, watch out if you see me walking down the street. I'm strutting now. That is
Oh,
how we are coming
I
into
love it.
2023. Thank you. Thank you. How are
Oh my God,
you?
that's great.
Yeah.
You should say something along the lines of like, my ends are so sharp now, like I'll cut a bitch or something.
You're so witty. That's gonna be like my Real Housewives like tagline. My ends are so sharp, I'll cut a bitch.
I support you on any house. Oh my God, we should have some sort of like real fat housewives of Instagram or
Oh
something.
my god.
But you're not a housewife. We need you as a housewife
Okay, half of
first.
them aren't housewives though. Like they're married,
Are you
divorced, they're
serious?
like going bankrupt, they're going to jail. Yeah.
I really would love to do a reality TV show of influencers because I think that so many of us are so ridiculous and so silly.
Yeah.
It would be extremely entertaining, but I think that the show would get sued immediately
We'd all be
because it would
canceled.
just be,
Yeah.
yeah, we would all be canceled, and like we would just be all like there would be people who would be shit talking brands, and then and like we would all be sued immediately.
Yeah, because we have
Immediately.
NDAs. Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
Absolutely. Your hair looks great.
Thank
I
you.
love it.
Thank
It
you.
looks awesome.
How are
I
you?
am I'm good. I'm good. I have decided that I'm also going to dye my hair dark.
I'm
Fuck the blonde. We're done. We're
so
done. The
excited.
blonde moment is done. But yeah, I'm doing good. I'm really excited to talk about today's topic
Yeah.
because this is such a fascinating
Mm.
corner of the internet.
Hmm.
And I really find that you and I have very similar interests online
Yeah,
and then different perspectives of it. And this is
100%.
one of those topics
Hmm.
where you and I look at it differently.
Hmm.
And I don't think anyone has had this type of this type of live conversation
No,
about what I eat in a day videos.
no. And I do want to say the perspectives that I heard, because like we do research for the episodes, they were all coming from thin white women, and we are fat white women. So we,
We are, you mean we're not thin?
and like some of them wouldn't like talk on the fat what I eat in a day. So I feel like, yes, we do have like the privilege of being white, but we can talk about it in different perspectives that maybe thin women don't feel like they're able to. And I think that's what's also going to give this episode more depth,
Mm-hmm.
more
Like, yeah, the
controversy.
aspect, definitely. It's just going to add a little bit of spice to it. Um, do you want to start off by telling the listeners what I eat in a day videos are? Because there's going to be so many people who are listening who know exactly what they are, but there's going to be some people who are like not chronically online like we are, who are
Yeah.
like, what the hell are these two talking about? So why don't you tell people what I eat in a day videos are?
Okay, perfect. I'll share what they are and then you share the history. You good with that?
Yeah,
We'll
we
just
got
we'll
this.
like divvy up the workload here. Okay,
We
so the
got
what I
this.
eat in a day is it's pretty much like exactly what you think it is. Like people show up online and they do these like 15-second videos that are on TikTok and Instagram showing every meal that they've had for the day. Now they're not going to sit down and take you through the entire meal, but they're like, I woke up today and I had a banana with a protein shake and a green smoothie. Or, I woke up and had a bowl of Cheerios, and they take us throughout their entire day, the snacks they've had, their lunch, afternoon snacks, maybe dinner time. And it completes that off. Some of them even go as far as like into like their EDs, like binge eating. I've seen some of those as well. But pretty much it's a breakdown of that. And they are extremely viral on social media right now. They are like the hottest thing, and people are exploding online over the what I eat in a days. And right now, the really popular ones are what I eat in a day as a fat person, not on a diet.
Mm. Yeah, those ones are really, really popular.
Yeah.
Like the videos in general are really popular.
Hmm.
And it is really fascinating that the videos are also really popular for fat people who are showing what they eat in a day, not on a diet.
Yeah.
Like that has like a high interest.
Yeah.
People are really gravitated towards, wow, what is this fat person eating all day? And I think that there's this lens of, are they going to be honest or are they going to modify this?
Yep.
Which is something that we can get into during the pod.
I agree.
But these, what I eat in a day videos kind of started out
Mm-hmm.
like within the last 10 years, actually on YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
because they were in this like longer format style vlog.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, they have like all social media, they're remixed and they adapt. And now, since TikTok is the most used social media platform, of course, they have migrated over there.
Yeah.
And some of these videos will be called full day of eating,
Yeah.
everything I eat in a day, like they're the same. And they basically showcase
Mm.
like back on YouTube back 10 years ago, it was mostly part of a vlog. So they
Mm.
were actually being shown in a longer
Yeah.
format and with more detail to them. Whereas with TikTok, you are getting these very shortened and condensed down
Yeah.
versions of them, which means that they're leaving out a lot of detail.
Yes.
And so they've changed a little bit. So they are more condensed. They're less of a vlog, more of like this like informational, this is what I'm eating in a day.
Mm-hmm.
And lots of details are being left out of
I
them.
completely agree.
Yeah. And they're not really, you won't really find what I eat in a day slide pictures on Instagram like in carousels, but
Yes.
you might find them, but it's not as catchy. The
Mm-hmm.
most catchy way for people to post what I eat in a day is definitely on TikTok. The
Yeah.
shorter, the better. Like, I'm not going to be surprised if somebody posts a 5-second what I eat in a day
Yeah.
and just make everything like, make every single portion of the video like 0.5 seconds long. Um,
Yeah.
but I'm curious, what has been your history with watching what I eat in a day videos? Did you start watching them recently? Have you watched them for a long time or have you known about them for a long time? If you have watched them in the past, what was your motivation to watch them?
So this is really interesting. I love how you said that it started off in YouTube because yes, the video format of these did, but when we really think back, I think back to the magazines when we saw like the celebrities going on about like what they ate in a day to achieve a certain body type and how we wanted to like mimic all these celebrities because we wanted to fit the beauty standards. We wanted to fit in to diet culture. And like that's still prevalent today. And we still see that with YouTubers. But like that's literally what I think of every time I think of a what I eat in a day.
Yeah, those, it's mostly like those celebrity gossip magazines that are like how to be as thin as Victoria Beckham
Yeah.
or whoever it is.
Yeah.
I don't want to single out Victoria Beckham, but like,
No, but it's like
yeah,
even like Jennifer Aniston's salad went viral from Friends, and it's like the salad she ate for 10 years to look like Jennifer Aniston. And then like there's probably like a People article of her saying like, "Hey, this is like my diet that I eat every day, and this is like with the intention of like if you eat like this, you could potentially look like me." Even though that doesn't factor in genetics, that doesn't factor in anything about health or your body. But moving on to the what I eat in a days now. So I didn't think they were affecting me. And like I am in a binge eating group and I brought it up to see what other people's opinions were. And everyone found them really activating. So I took some time to sit with myself and to sit in that discomfort. And I realized that I always flip off them within the first second. Like I physically cannot consume that content because I am so activated in it. It makes me feel like I'm comparing myself, like I'm judgmental of what others eat. Yes, I'm intrigued by the food that they're cooking, but also it's like, am I not eating enough? Am I eating too much? Am I not eating nutrient dense? And then there's like the privilege of like when I see some people eating so much nutrient dense food, and I'm like, how do they afford that? Like we're literally in a recession right now. Like the privilege that comes with being able to eat like that. Or even just now, I was on what you can eat in a day and I was seeing these very thin women and I was like, great, perfect. If I eat like that, I could be just like her. And I was like, bitch, I thought we were overcoming diet culture. And then now you're obsessed
Mm,
with this size zero ballerina's body because she just showed you what she ate in a day. So I find it unbelievably activating. And it doesn't matter if it's a thin woman, if it's a fat woman. Um, I just don't find the content for me personally good content for my soul. And I know that like you potentially have a different opinion. So like how do you find the content? Do you enjoy it?
Thank you so much for sharing all of that. And I just want to, I think like it's really important for us to always give ourselves and each other grace that we might think that we're over something. And maybe we kind of are in a way, but it still pops up from time to time. Like, I don't necessarily believe in a fully healed version of someone. And so I think that those thoughts are really insidious and kind of cling to us
Hmm.
like they're really sticky. And so getting rid of them fully, I think, is like, kind of next to impossible.
Yeah.
But so I do think that it's normal that when we go through, like if I went through videos, not necessarily of what I eat in a day, although some,
Hmm.
but if I went through videos of like strength training workouts in the gym,
Yeah.
like if I just was like looking for inspiration on like, oh, I want to do a circuit like at the gym for my back and biceps, I'm going to look on TikTok for some inspiration. I would definitely find some of those like darker shadow voices creeping up, like, remember when you did this all the time, and
Mm.
remember when you got compliments, and remember when people thought that you were really attractive in the gym, and
Yeah.
remember how good you felt, and
Oh,
remember. And I think that those thoughts happen within like less than a second, and you're
yeah.
like, oh my god, I need to go to the gym immediately, and I need to. Or with
Yeah.
some what I eat in a day videos, you'll see them and you'll think like, okay, that's it, I'm going to buy like all of this kale and this spinach, and I'm going to like just,
Every
you kind
time.
of spiral really quickly. For me, what I eat in a day videos definitely started out when I was heavily in weight loss culture, and
Mm.
I was looking at them for macro inspiration of being like, oh, this person's on the same amount of macros as I am.
Yep.
So what are they eating in a day to help fit their macros? Plus, I was watching them for like basically inspiration, like low carb inspiration or
Yep.
like low fat, or like what are these people doing to get like enough diet? And I see what I eat in a day videos now, and for some reason I actually am okay. Like I have enough distance between me and that maybe shadow part of myself, or
Mm.
me and my previous self, where it doesn't activate me in terms of being like I would say I don't respond in the same way of, okay, I need to buy this food now because I'm going to be thin because of it.
Ooh.
I mostly look at what I eat in a day videos out of meal inspiration
Yep.
and wondering what the fuck is everyone
Yeah,
eating in a day?
I
Like, I'm
love
just
that.
so, God, will you start sending me photos of every single one of your meals? Like, I'm just,
They're
you're like,
not that
no, I will not be doing
interesting.
that. I think everything is, though. I'm like, do you like that cheese? Are you putting hot sauce on that? What is on that salad? Like, I just want to know everything. Like, why did you order it like that? You have very specific requirements. You think some shit is disgusting.
Yo,
I think some of
leftovers
it's
are
delicious.
disgusting. It's not even up for conversation.
Kayla will not eat anyone's sauce out of anyone's fridge,
It's
but she will go to a
fucking
restaurant.
weird.
But she will go to a restaurant where they are serving sauce from their fridge, but we won't think about it like that.
Cause like you just
She
like
will not.
it's clean. It's a restaurant. There's certain
You have a
standards.
thing.
There's certain regulations. Kenzie
Fair,
will
fair.
literally
Yeah.
go to an Airbnb and if there's sauce left behind, will eat it. She doesn't even know if they
Drink
clean their
it.
ass
Let's
with that
go.
sauce. Like she doesn't know and she's gonna consume it. Sorry, this is like
Honestly, it
ugh.
has been, yeah, no, barbecue sauce for ass cleaner has been on the rise. So you are right. You are right.
Is that
People have been
actually a thing?
scrubbing their ass with their Parmesan and barbecue and hot sauce. You are right. We must beware. You must beware.
Yeah, but
But
yeah, okay.
um yeah, so think I have this like natural interest, this curiosity of like
Mhm.
what are people eating in a day? So I have that curiosity, but there is a dark side to these videos that you
Yeah.
hinted towards where a lot of people aren't coming from a place of like, oh, I'm just kind of agnostic to these videos. I don't really think one way or another about them. I'm just like looking at them out of like curiosity. There are lots and lots of people that look at these videos like they are setting the standard
Yeah.
for something.
Yeah.
And that there are other messages in these videos that are not just telling you what I eat in a day, because there is so much body checking
Oh,
or calorie talking that it's not just about food inspiration, or it's not just about, I'm just going to freely show people what I'm eating today.
yeah.
It is about something else.
Okay, so like that's what's really different for me. So like I am new to the actual videos of what I eat in a day until we like I'm stuck on like the what I eat in a day as a fat TikTok. That's what I'm on, right? So like when we were doing research of this and we like typed in the what I eat in a day hashtag, I was not prepared. Like, I was not
Right.
prepared for the body checking. Like, how every video starts off with a thin white woman with like her shirt pulled up in the mirror doing the body check, where she also turns around to do the perfect like butt check. You know what I'm talking about? Where both legs go back and she like looks at it in the
We
mirror.
do.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. No, don't be sorry. Before this episode, for people who are listening, Kayla and I actually just decided to actually type in what
Yeah.
I eat in a day on TikTok just to see. And we wanted to see if we were actually seeing the same videos, and we did have some of the
Yes.
same videos, but we did have some different videos. So that is also to say that like the algorithm is also feeding us similar but different things.
Hmm.
And we found that there were videos. Can I go through the
Yeah,
list
yeah,
of
yeah,
like
yeah.
what we
I'm
found?
literally going through the document
Okay.
right now. I'm like, okay, let's get to it.
So the first one was an immediate body check as a mid-sized girl. This one I think was titled "What I Eat in a Day as a Mid-sized Girl," and it was a body check in the mirror. And that is the
Mm,
connection here that I think you, in particular, you're like, why are people not talking about the fact that this is so body focused, but it's being misconstrued as, or it's being misrepresented as what I eat in a day. It's being misrepresented as food inspiration,
yeah,
but you're starting the video off with showing your body.
yeah,
And so then that just kind of births into the perspective of the fact that like this is not just simple. It's not just surface level food showing. It's like this intrinsically has to do with people's bodies and ultimately their size.
yeah.
um, Another one of the videos that was up was "What I Eat in a Day Binge Edition."
Hmm.
And that was really fascinating because
What a way to
so much
phrase it.
bin yeah. That's how it was written. Yeah, it was, that is a little bit odd. It's like deluxe edition, or like it's like when you get a CD and it's like bonus details inside. Bonus
I
tracks
just
right
picture
here.
the fattest person. You're like deluxe edition. I like picture the fat boy with the hamburger. I'm like, mm-hmm. That
Yes,
sounds.
yes.
I'm so hungry. Yes. Okay.
That one was interesting because TikTok actually censors a lot of binge content, which is why we started this podcast.
Hmm.
But I found this to be really activating. Not really, like I was fine, but I just found it to be like, ooh, those are foods that are very dense calorically. Those
Yep.
are foods that lots of people have issues with regulating themselves with, because these foods are manufactured in a way that really appeals to our like human biology of
Hmm.
just the bliss point of the fat, salt,
Yep.
sugar, like, you know, and it's just like, ugh. And I say that without shame, like, ugh, like they're so good.
Yeah.
And they're really hard on some people's bodies. And so I found that "What I Eat in a Day Binge Edition" was really interesting
Oof.
because it's such a fascinating video to watch out of wanting to destigmatize
Yeah.
binges. And what about privacy? Like, what
Oh,
about being private with struggling with a mental illness? So I struggled with that one a little bit.
yeah, I think that's completely understandable to struggle with that because, like, I remember you once saying that like binge eating can be competitive. And that stuck with me. And that's why, and I think it's okay to say here, please tell me if I'm wrong or not, but you would talk to a therapist or a mental health professional and
Mhm.
saying that that's why potentially group therapy sometimes isn't the best type of therapy for binge eating because of the competitiveness of it. And I know personally when I've watched some of those videos, I judge the person as well. And I think like, bitch, that isn't a binge. Like, it's
Right.
not like, and I think it's really
Mhm.
hard. And with the privacy too, it's like, okay, do we not want to try to normalize it and show people? Because I'm not sure about you, but for me, I didn't realize I had a binge eating disorder for like 10 years. I thought I just loved food. I loved to eat a lot. I didn't realize that this could be an eating disorder. So there's part of me that's like, no, normalizing, seeing it, it being visible is important. And the other part of it is this is activating, this is harmful, and we are saving these to judge one another and be like, your binge isn't
Mhm.
as valid, and it shouldn't be considered a binge. Let me comment on that.
Wow, yeah, so well said. Thank you so much for I think that's such an important way to frame it, that it's a both and. Like, you
Mm,
have this one part where you're like, I think a part of us feels really grateful for the visibility.
yeah, I
This
agree.
is visible. This is what we're gonna do, is we're not gonna let our shame sit in the dark.
Thank
We're
you for
actually
saying that.
going to
Yeah.
bring it. Yeah, we're gonna bring it in community, and we're
Yeah.
gonna show people, this is what I'm going through. On the other hand, this isn't as simple as saying I'm this isn't someone saying I'm struggling with someone.
Yes.
This is someone saying, let me document this
Yes.
and edit it and
Mm-hmm.
put it online for social consumption.
Yeah.
And I think that the word that keeps coming up for me for that is spectacle. That I
Ooh.
am going to make this into a spectacle, so that way people can come and watch me do something that's actually really fucked up. That if we ever put online what I drink in a day binge edition,
Oh
and it
my
was a
God.
person who was drinking alcohol, we that we would all say that that's probably not best put on the internet. Like, that's a person struggling. If we put something online of, what about someone self-harming? That obviously, I mean,
Wouldn't be allowed.
I know self-harm, I know, yeah, and self-harm comes in so many different ways, so like take that with everybody, just add your own nuance to this.
Yo, but like self
But
harm
it's
can
just
be binge eating. Just want to put that out there too.
exactly, yeah. But the thing that makes eating disorders
Hmm.
so different than other ways that humans struggle, that humans struggle with, is that eating disorder, you can't ever not deal with food again. And
Amen.
the line between when a person just is eating past fullness
Yep.
or mindlessly eating, or then when something turns into a binge, is also quite a gray area and quite nuanced. And so
Mm.
that's why you can look at those videos and say, you think that's a binge? You don't even know how bad it can get. Like, that's where you can say, you could say that and feel maybe a little bit competitive, or feel like, I have even had this like really complex jealousy with
Oh.
women who binge on quote unquote healthy
Yeah.
foods, when they're like, oh
Yeah.
my God, I really struggled with binging because I ate like 3 sweet potatoes and all of these black bean noodles and all of and I'll be like, yeah,
Yeah. The
same.
shaking in the
And I'm
voice.
like, no.
Yeah.
And I feel the shame that they're choosing to binge on something that feels like it's more categorically in a healthy
Yeah.
space, whereas the things that I tend to binge on or overeat on,
Yeah.
or the foods that make me feel really comforted, tend to be foods that are really low in micronutrients. They're
Yep.
foods that are low in fiber. They're foods that are very high in their fat and carb content. And I'm like, so there's even a layer of judgment there,
I've
right?
never
So the
thought
what I
about it
eat in
that
a
way.
day
Yeah.
videos,
Okay. Sorry. I'm like,
yeah,
yes,
no,
Kenzie.
the what I eat in a day binge edition has so many layers of complexity to it.
Yeah.
And it's like, one is the person who's binging fat, because that makes a difference.
I want to
Is the
get into
person
that
who's
so bad.
binging, yeah, what do you have to say?
Okay. Thank you. Finally, I just passed the mic over here.
Yeah,
Okay. Um,
sorry. Yeah, you're welcome.
no. By the way,
Yeah,
I
no
loved what you
problem.
said too about the healthy food, or like we keep saying the word nutrient dense food, but let's just be honest. Online, it's called healthy food. It's just what it's called, healthier food choices versus like going in with
Mhm.
your pizza, your McDonald's, your KFCs. Like I know mine, I'm ordering takeout. I want straight up takeout. I want all of it. I want 6 meals. It's not 6 meals, it's more like two. But it feels more punishing on the body, and not as healthful as you said. It doesn't Yeah, I heard the judgment the moment you said it. I was like, yeah, fuck that bitch. Um, I'm sorry if there's children in the car or whoever is
Yeah.
listening to this right now.
Yeah.
There is swearing in this podcast. Um,
And also that if you're a person who tends to binge eat on what is in the category of like what people would categorize as healthy foods, like we obviously don't actually, we wouldn't say that. And we don't actually think that. We love
I
you.
totally forgot about them. I'm like, oh yeah, yeah, of course. Like people are
No,
listening.
they
I'm
will be
so
listening.
sorry. I'm so
Yeah.
sorry. Yeah, like
No,
you're
no, we're
valid.
just being silly.
Yeah,
No, we're just being silly.
yeah,
That there is a difference. And I would hope that people who, I would hope that people who struggle with binge eating, who are eating those types of foods, would also see that there's like definitely a difference. And I'm not even quite sure that I would say like, oh, it's a privilege difference. It's just a
mm,
difference. It's
yeah,
just a difference between like if somebody were binging on that and they put it out online or they talk about it, that's going to be viewed much differently than a person who's like, I ordered 10 pizzas from Pizza Hut. Like that's just there's a difference there.
yeah.
Anyways, yeah.
I'm so sorry.
No, no, you're doing great.
Moving on. Okay, so here's my issues with the what I eat in a day as a fat person. I personally went to go film one, and that day I had like all the perfect nutrient dense meals from Trader Joe's. I had my protein smoothie. I had my like Waldorf salad. I had bananas. Like I was ready to show, what I eat as a good fatty. I think that's the best way to label it, as a good fatty, to put the best foot forward to show the world that not all fat people eat unhealthy, even though I don't owe anyone health as a fat person. And it's actually no one's business what I'm eating. So, are people really showing what they're eating? Is it authentic? I actually did not
Mm,
go ahead and post that because I felt like I could not be authentic in what I ate. I could not be authentic in the amounts that I ate. And I felt I was being very restrictive too. A second thing is why do fat people need to justify or normalize what they're eating online? I just
mm,
I know that it brings some people like normalization that fat people to deserve to eat whatever they want, and it's okay to have a donut, it's okay to have chips, it's okay to have a salad, to have a variety of food. And that doesn't make them a bad person, and food isn't bad, and there's no shame around it. And at the same time, as fat people, I feel like we don't owe you anything. So, why are we
mhm.
partaking in something that has been so harmful to so many people?
Mm. Yeah, thank you so much for naming that. You're so right. And I didn't realize that you had also went and filmed that stuff, and it kind of felt like beginning to film what I eat in a day as a fat person, as a plus size person, you end up thinking like, what are people going to
Hmm.
compliment me on?
Yeah.
Like, how do I make sure to show people that I'm good?
Yeah.
Because we're so often labeled as bad.
Yeah.
And we can use what I eat in a day videos as validation.
Yep.
And then there are some what I eat in a day videos as a fat person where I'm like, I'll see that they're eating things that I would say are
Yep.
stereotypical to what fat people eat. And I never see thinner people posting up stuff like that.
100%. And then I ask myself, does that reinforce the stigma around fat people? And then I start judging fat people for putting that online, even though there should be no shame around that. Like food has no
Right.
morality, but it's like, wow, you're giving us a bad name and proving to thin people these stereotypes of fat people. And I'm like,
Mm,
wow, the fat
mhm,
phobia is so deep. And I'm a fat person
mhm,
who preaches, body acceptance, body liberation. So
mhm.
I just imagine the people online and their their thoughts of it and how it reinforces ideas as well.
Yeah, I think that again, it's kind of holding that really complex both and perspective of fat people are allowed to do stereotypical fat things.
Yeah, I know you're right.
I really, before we started this podcast, I really wanted to start a podcast, and who knows, maybe I will. Nobody fucking steal this, but I really wanted to start a podcast called the Fat Fucks Podcast, and it's just us interviewing fat people talking about the stereotypical fat things that they do, just to like have humor and just to be like, yeah, like maybe I did eat an entire box of Dunkin' Donuts. Like, what are you going to do about it? Or whatever it is, like whatever it is that feels very stereotypical, just to kind of like be empowered by it.
Yeah,
But I think what you're saying is so important, of holding that both and of being of again that visibility and normalizing something that has been weaponized against certain people
yeah.
is so important. And then also, are you just kind of not making a mockery, but are you just sort of falling into a stereotypical category again just to be kind of a spectacle? Because that's kind of what you're doing, you know? There was a few more what I eat in a day videos on under the search.
Yes, yes,
One
yes.
of them was one of them was a ballerina,
Okay, yeah.
and she had her comments turned off, and I was really curious as to what motivated her to turn her comments off. And I was really curious from like a ballerina's perspective of putting what I eat in a day videos, are there other ballerinas that she knows that she's going to be wondering who's going to be looking at her video? Like, why did she put that out? Did she put that out for the general public, or did she put that out to be a good ballerina to her ballerina community? There was a what I eat in a day calorie deficit, which is quite
Oof.
normal. I
Yeah,
would say like there's like lots of diet,
yeah.
like explicitly diet based ones. Then there was what I eat in a day, trigger warning. Like this is what it said on the video. What I eat in a day, trigger warning, eating disorder.
Yeah.
And I was like, how the fuck is this allowed on TikTok when my stuff gets censored for just dancing around in my
Yeah.
underwear? But like,
Love to
sure, no
know it.
problem. I'm an adult.
Yeah.
And then I went to this person's profile because I was genuinely curious. And they just have that one video, the one what I eat in a day video. And then in their bio, it says 17 years old, DM on Twitter. I'm more active on there. And I was just like, because
What?
Twitter's a absolute dumpster fire that you can post basically almost anything on Twitter and
Yep.
it's fine. And I just couldn't believe that TikTok was like somehow didn't have a better vetting program,
Yeah.
some type of software, some algorithm that was like properly addressing that stuff. Um, but there were other, but all of the, not all of them, sorry. So many of the what I eat in a day videos that came up for us had so much body checking and had so much to do that was like body based.
Yeah.
And it is, really difficult. Like if you are just looking for meal inspiration, then why aren't you just posting meals? Like why are you posting up everything you eat in a
No, I
day?
agree. And I want to go back to the trigger warning because posting binge eating content is something that I've almost lost my account over. I know that you've been censored as a fat person unfairly, but then I see people hashtagging binging, hashtag binge eating, what I eat in a day, hashtag binge eating recovery. And I'm like, hold on.
Mhm.
How are people posting these recovery, what I eat in a day / binge eating videos? And these are all getting through the algorithm. But then if you go to the hashtag binge eating, it takes you to like, if you need help, and I'm like, I almost lost my account over this. Like, where
Mm.
is the line here? Because then it also says in its guidelines, you can't normalize eating disorders on TikTok. So I'm like,
Mm.
how? Like, if you're a thin person, can you just put hashtag binge eating and it's okay? Like, is
Mm.
I honestly don't know, Kenzie. Like, I am so terrified. I will not post any what I eat in days, and I will not post anything about binge eating online for the fear that they will
Yeah,
take my account.
I hear you. It's so hard. I think we should maybe you and I could start like a new hashtag where like TikTok won't see it
Mm,
as binge eating. Like what if we called it like Billy eating or something?
goat
Like what
eating.
about like yeah, Billy Billy goat.
Ah!
Billy goat eating. Yeah, it's just I don't know, something that we could as like a binge eating community all click on and know what we're going to, but TikTok would be like, wait, what is this? And
Right?
we would be little sneaky, mischievous scoundrels just hacking the fucking
But
system.
it's like weird though, because I posted a binge eating video where it was deleted twice and then the third time like went through. And I didn't use
That's
binge
normal.
eating. So I'm like, okay, if we do that hashtag, do we like not put captions off? Do we like use a code word during it? Do we say everything in an upbeat voice to get through the algorithm? Like,
Mm,
what are the
oh gosh, I
tips
just don't know.
that we would do, right? To like, I feel like that's why
Yeah.
the podcast.
Right. Yeah, that's why we're here
Yeah,
because we would like to
actually,
talk freely about this.
without being
Yeah.
censored and kicked off and losing our careers.
So let me ask you a non-nuanced yes or no question.
Okay.
And I just
No.
yes or no and then we'll dive into it. I know that's what your answer is going to be,
Okay.
but I'm going to ask it anyways.
Okay.
Do you think what I eat in a day videos have value? That's it. That's the question.
I feel like that's a nuanced question. That's not
I
nuanced.
know, but I know we're taking away the nuance just to spice things up.
I think for the harm that they cause, they should be gone.
That's what there was this podcast that I was listening to for research for this.
Hmm.
And the I tried to listen to a couple of different
Yeah.
podcasts for it, and so did you. And the podcast, one of them that I listened to was from these two trainers. I
Mm.
can't remember what it was called, but we'll link it in the show notes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And these two trainers, they were basically describing their different perspectives on what I eat in a day.
Mm.
And she teared up actually in this conversation about what I eat in a day videos. And she said, I don't think that they should be allowed at all based on the fact that if they even harm one person,
Oh
then
wow.
that's enough for us to not do it collectively. And she was really adamant that she said they cause so much harm. And this was from her. And I think she's fairly thin and she's a trainer. So
Yeah.
she's embedded in this
Yeah.
like fitness world, which is so synonymous with and so like also just it's very incestuous with the diet culture world.
Yeah.
I know that they are actually different,
Hmm.
but for sake of this podcast, it was so interesting to hear her
Mm.
say that she's like not down. She's not down. She's just saying like no, they should not be on there. And even
Wow.
as her colleague or business partner or friend, as he was saying that he views them as more of similar videos to Get Ready With Me,
Yeah.
that he's quite neutral to them. He's quite agnostic when it comes to them. But she says no. Her initial reaction when she sees the video is not inspiration, it's comparison. And she
Yeah.
feels incredibly inadequate. And
Oof.
I think that you're right. Like in a way, I think that you're right to say
Wow.
no.
I didn't see
Yeah.
that one coming. I thought you were like on the staunch. You love them. You love the curiosity of them. You loved being like a voyeur in their life, in their food experience. I am shocked. Okay, please tell us more.
No, 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 no. I hear what you're saying. And I think that if I were to sit down and get honest with myself, I would probably look at them. I think that there has to be some factor of me watching what I eat in a day videos for the kind of like the two reasons why we discussed. One, as for like health inspiration,
Hmm.
what is this person eating that
Yeah.
is healthy that I could potentially be eating? And two, wow, this is like a spectacle.
Yeah.
And if I'm going to get really honest with myself, I would say that there are fragments of those, even if I'm viewing it as like I just am really curious what this person is putting into their body during the day. I
Hmm.
think that there are still small aspects of, is this person eating healthy foods? Wow, I can't believe that this person is eating this. And so again,
Mm.
healthy and spectacle.
Yeah.
And that's me being fully, fully, fully honest. And it's hard, but I think if I were to push myself, why don't I just look up recipes? Why don't I
Thank
just look
you.
up meals that contain this ingredient, tofu, quinoa,
Yes.
spinach, like avocado, like whatever it is? So then that way I'm looking for inspiration like that. Why am I watching what I eat in a day videos for that?
I couldn't agree more. I watch tons of recipes that aren't activating. They're beautiful. They tell these great stories. I feel inspired to want to cook. Like, if the true reason you're watching is for inspiration and enjoyment and curiosity, follow some chefs.
Do you think that these videos, again, like feel free to say yes or no, or feel free to go into it in a little bit more depth. I don't, I personally don't believe in trigger warnings. And again, that's not
I
the
love
conversation here,
that.
but I am really curious. Do you think that these videos should come with a disclaimer, which is different than a trigger warning, a disclaimer of, even though that I'm eating these, let's say something along the lines of, even though that I'm eating these foods and this is what I've eaten in a day, doesn't mean that you should, doesn't mean that you could, and doesn't mean that if you eat the same foods and have the same routine as me, that we would look the same. Do you think that people should post something like that?
I mean, I promised I would show up truthfully on here and authentically. And
Yeah.
I listened to your episode on your podcast about trigger warnings and I loved it. I thrived on it. And I feel like we can't control the content we're seeing. And if you are watching What I Eat in a Days, then hopefully you're a critical thinker and you are very aware of the content that you are consuming. And also you're trying to get through an algorithm and not get things taken down. So, how can someone reasonably put that up? And why is it their responsibility when you're the one consuming it?
Mm-hmm.
And I know that's going to be a really unpopular opinion here, but like if I'm going to truthfully speak about it, um no. I feel like everyone should be aware of that. But like, okay, will
Mm-hmm.
children be? Probably not. Probably not. Like,
So if like some of the videos that we mentioned about what I eat in a day videos, like the first one was a body check as a mid-sized girl. There was another one where this person was extremely bloated and they were talking about what they eat in a day to kind of help handle their bloating. The other one was what I eat in a day binge edition, ballerina edition. Um, like there's all of these different ones. If they came with a disclaimer, would you view them differently, or do you think that you would view them the exact same? Do you think that you would still compare yourself or still have those types of feelings of inadequacy if they had the disclaimer or not?
no.
Because I think
Okay, go on.
people would. Sorry, I
They would
think that
still have
people
the
would
same
have the
feelings.
yes.
100%. We have that knowledge and we
Yeah.
still compare ourselves.
Yes, yeah, definitely. Even with all of the work that like we have done to separate
100%.
ourselves from diet culture.
The
Yeah.
only reason they should have that warnings is if we know children are 100% consuming that content, which they
Mhm.
are, but I feel like their parents should be monitoring that.
Oh my god, I just got this like very like sad dystopian vision in my head of like a 7-year-old taking her phone and being like, "Hey guys, it's Casey. Here's what I eat in a
Oh my God,
day."
no.
7-year-old edition. Like we know that that's going to
No.
happen.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Do
at
you
some
think that's a
point that's going to
category?
happen.
No, it's probably out there
No.
already. Oh my
I
God,
don't know,
I
but
have
I'm
goosebumps. This is so sad. Because there's like 8-year-olds in inpatient treatment already for like anorexia and like bulimia.
yeah. And that was something that you had figured out in some of the research, is that this sort of these comparative headspaces that women and girls get online, which what I eat in a day videos contribute to, actually is a precursor for eating disorders.
Yeah, like I think a lot of the research we looked at said that like this could be really harmful for people who have struggled with eating disorders and in promoting eating disordered behavior in people and in others, because a lot of this behavior can be disordered and what they're sharing, and it's not healthy.
Mm,
And also, like, even just watching people take supplements in these videos, like I was just watching one an hour ago and I was like, oh, what supplements is that person taking? I should pick up some of them. And then I'm like, wait a second, they're not a doctor. They're
mm,
not an expert. They're
mhm.
not a nutritionist. What makes that good for my body? Why am I taking advice from some random stranger on the internet about like what my body needs? Like everything about them
Mm.
is dangerous. Everything. I hate them.
Yeah.
I hate them. I'm just going to
Yeah.
say it.
No, I really appreciate your candor and your honesty. I think it's really important. You also told me that they have over 11 billion views on
Wait,
TikTok. What I eat in a day.
I feel like I didn't say that. You're definitely giving me credit where it's not due, and I love you so much.
No, we talked about this when we were recording like a couple of weeks ago. You were
Oh,
like, what I eat in a day what I eat in a day hashtag on TikTok has over 11 billion views. So it's not like Kayla and I are talking about something that isn't popular. Even if you as a listener haven't heard about these videos,
yeah.
this has over 11 billion views. And that's just that hashtag. That is not including the hashtag full day of eating,
Mm-hmm.
every single thing that I ate this day,
Yep.
binge eating, and like there's that's just one hashtag. That's one hashtag that those videos have been put under. 11
On
billion views.
TikTok.
There aren't even on TikTok. Yes.
Not
Alone.
even like,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
that's one platform.
YouTube, Instagram.
Yeah.
So when you say no, they shouldn't be there, no, they shouldn't be online, that's a lot of views to give up for TikTok and for Instagram and for YouTube.
Yeah.
And
One,
I think
okay.
that TikTok and Instagram and YouTube, even with this information of the fact that they're not good for people who have eating disorders, they're not good for people's body image, they're basically not good for people's mental health.
Mhm.
But the fact that they're just viral, these tech platforms must also love it
Of
in a
course
way.
they do, because people are spending more time on the app creating that content and watching that content, which is the goal of social media platforms. Why would they have
Yes.
any incentive to get rid of them?
I don't honestly, I don't think that they have any incentive to get rid of anything that harms us, but puts money in their pocket. They don't have any incentive to get rid of those at all.
No, like 100% of them. And like, I think this was like a really interesting topic because I didn't actually think I was affected whatsoever by them. I thought they were empowering before this topic. I thought it was like a great way to normalize binge eating, to normalize fat bodies. I didn't realize how internally I was affected by them. And I would love if others out there maybe took the time to sit with this and reflect on how they've showed up in your life and how maybe they've positively or negatively um, helped you or harmed you. And moving forward, if that's the kind of content you like to consume or don't, and why you do.
Yeah, yeah. That's such an excellent thing to say. I think that your value and self-reflection is so important. Why are we consuming the content that we're consuming? What actually does motivate us to watch those videos? Like, can we have some self-actualization through this?
Hmm.
What is it about this? Am I doing a health comparison? Am I doing a body
Yeah.
comparison? Am I watching this because it's kind of like a spectacle? And is that a bad thing? If I'm watching this as a spectacle, is that bad or good. Like there's a whole other, that's a whole other debate that people can, or a whole other nuanced conversation that people can have with themselves. But what I eat in a day videos primarily lead to more internalized negativity, more
Yeah.
not internalized, but more internal negativity, more internal negative self-talk, lots of comparison. And even if you're watching them for to be curious about foods or meal inspiration,
Hmm.
we can actually just look up recipe videos instead. I think that
100%.
that's like the simple thing.
Yeah. I agree with
But
you.
even as I say that, I feel defensive,
Why?
if I'm going to be honest. I feel like I'm kind of just like having this internal conflict, like my own
Okay.
internal debate on this, because I'm like, I don't want to get rid of them. I like watching
Oh,
them. I like what people what they eat in a day. I don't care if they harm other people. If I like them and if I enjoy them and if they don't negatively impact my life, why do I have to give that up? And I think that I need to talk to myself about that, because why can't I make the adjustment of just watching recipes? Why am I so reluctant to do that? Why is that part of me clinging on to what I eat in a day videos?
yep.
So maybe I will set out like a container for myself for like the entire month of March. I'm
Mm,
not going to watch any, or if any come by on my For You page or on Instagram, I'm going to continue scrolling. And if I need meal inspiration, then I actually look up meal inspiration ideas around a specific ingredient.
I love that.
Um, and just like, yeah, sitting with that discomfort. Cause I kind of wanted to name that because I knew that somebody listening
Yep.
would also be feeling a bit defensive and maybe feeling similarly along the lines of, just because other people can't regulate themselves doesn't mean that I have to give up this thing.
Mm, mm-hmm.
Where it's like, actually the adjustment is quite small. The adjustment is literally quite small and can positively impact so many people. But
But I also want to recognize how powerful that is, because it's really hard to recognize that you're having like a little discomfort in it, to sit in that discomfort and to make the change. Because a lot of people just feel that kind of uncomfortableness and they're like, nope, I'm not giving it up. That's one of my coping mechanisms. I enjoy watching this. This is other people's problem. Whereas you're like, wait, why am I having that internal pull in my body? There is an issue here that definitely needs to be addressed. And I'm always really
mm,
proud of you for the work you do, because you do such deep work and you recognize whenever there is, I don't want to say issue, whenever there is a struggle within yourself, to like really show up and honor that and to do the work. And that's hard.
thanks, Kayla. I appreciate it. It is hard, but also you do it as well.
Yeah.
And I think you and I have learned the value of like sitting with our discomfort as much as we possibly can in hopes of growing and in hopes of
Yeah.
learning and in hopes of like breaking some of our patterns. So,
I agree.
ending off this
Wow.
episode, what I eat in a day videos,
Yeah.
not fantastic.
No. Wow. I did not see it ending here. I'm so happy. Congratulations, everyone, for following along. I hope you enjoyed this.
This was so great. Do you have any final thoughts or words for people listening?
I love you. Thank you for joining. Hit that subscribe button. Follow Kenzie at Kenzie Brenna. I'm Kayla Logan Blog.
Yes.
Ken,
Like, comment, subscribe.
right?
Like, comment, subscribe. Let's do this. Get hooked up in the community with
Yes,
Patreon. We're on there.
Patreon.
We love a
Support
good
us.
Patreon
We support
moment.
you. Like, let's get it.
We're really happy to be talking about these topics
Mhm.
and to be building this really incredible community. So, thank you for listening, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. We love you.